A tiny bird fell right in front of someone one morning, landing weakly on the ground. His wings trembled and he could barely stand. He was too small to survive on his own. That was the first time Jaku entered a human's life, not by choice, but by chance. At first, no one knew what to do. He was just a fragile little bird, shivering and helpless. But walking away wasn't an option. He was gently scooped up and carried home. From that moment, Jaku's story of survival and love began. The truth is, raising a bird had never even crossed anyone's mind. There was no experience, no guide, just a small creature in need. The only thing to do was learn. With no time to waste, YouTube videos became the teacher. How do you feed a baby bird? How do you keep him warm? Slowly, the answers came, and step by step, so did Jaku's recovery. The first few weeks were not easy. Every feeding was careful, every movement slow. But Jaku was a fighter. His feathers grew shiny and black, his body filled out, and his once weak wings began to show strength. Watching him survive touched everyone who saw him. The first time Jaku tried to fly was unforgettable. At first, he was clumsy, distracted by every sound. But then, to everyone's surprise, he soared into the air, circled around, and landed right on the shoulder of the person who saved him. From that day on, a new routine began. They explored together. Quiet gardens and safe spots became his training grounds. Even when Jaku joined other birds in the sky, he always returned. No matter how far he flew, he knew where home was. Jaku wasn't just a wild bird anymore. He became family. He lived freely during the day, flying around the glass-covered balcony. But every evening, without fail, he returned to sleep in his safe spot. And in the mornings, he waited patiently. He never made a sound until he heard movement inside the house. Only then would he start singing, calling softly for the day to begin. His affection showed in small but powerful ways. Sometimes he brought gifts, little leaves, small twigs, even walnuts he found on his flights. And when his person returned home from work, he could already be seen circling above, excited and waiting to greet them. One of the sweetest memories came during a trip abroad. Jaku had to stay with a friend while his person traveled. They tried FaceTiming, and the moment Jaku saw the familiar face on the screen, he chirped and hopped with joy. When they were finally reunited in person, he clung tightly to the shoulder he loved most and refused to leave all night. There were worries, of course. Letting a bird fly freely is not without risk. The world outside is dangerous. But true love means giving freedom, even when it's hard. Jaku was never locked in a cage. His joy came from flying, exploring, and living as a bird should, and the greatest joy of all was that he always chose to return. Over time, Jaku found ways to communicate beyond chirps and songs. With gentle nudges of his head or the flick of his tail, he made his feelings clear. He showed when he wanted food, when he wanted attention, and most of all, when he wanted Tumba, his loyal dog friend, by his side. Jaku's story is more than just about a bird. It's about trust, freedom, and the bond that can grow when patience and kindness are given without limits. He may have fallen from the sky that morning, weak and trembling, but he landed in a place where he would never be alone again. Every day now, Jaku wakes with energy and joy. He plays with his toys, sings his little songs, and waits for the person he trusts most to start the day with him. He has turned a balcony into his playground, a family into his flock, and a simple act of kindness into a lifelong bond. This is the gift animals give us when we open our hearts. They remind us that love doesn't need to be complicated. It's found in daily moments, a soft chirp in the morning, a tiny gift of a leaf, or the sight of wings circling above to say welcome home. Jaku may be small, but his impact is huge. He proved that even the tiniest creature can change a life forever. What started as a random fall from a rooftop became a story of survival, companionship, and love that knows no limits. If Jaku's journey touched your heart, please take a moment to give this story a like. Share it with someone who needs a little hope today. And tell us your own rescue story in the comments. Because when we spread kindness, we help more animals like Jaku find safety, freedom, and family.